All right, everybody, it's a great day to be a Berserk fan because Chapter 360 was released. Actually, it's a great day in general. If you're a fan of Trivium, they released a new album today, so check that out if you're a metal fan. But the only thing I like more than metal is Berserk, which Berserk is pretty metal also. Of course, heavy spoiler warning, I am going to be talking about Chapter 360 in detail, so if you have not read it yet, check it out. I'm not going to provide any links, but if you do a quick Google search, you'll be able to find it for yourself. So check it out if you don't want any spoilers. If not, let's get right into it. So the chapter begins with Casca waking up from another PTSD flashback that she had. I feel really bad for her. And she admits that when she sees Guts, that she's dragged back to that place. At least that's what the translation says. And to me, I'm wondering how much of that means that Casca does remember the eclipse and whatnot. Because before, we learned that Casca remembered up to the point when they went to go rescue Griffith. So I'm wondering if looking at Guts is what sparked the memories of the eclipse to come back to her. So if she does have all those full memories now, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm thinking that that's what that means. The fact that she would say that place, you know, it's very kind of more specific. So it would make sense that she does now remember the eclipse. The only question also is, does she remember what happened afterwards? Does she remember when Guts himself inflicted a little bit of unconsensual damage to her? I'm wondering how much of that she remembers, because she says that his face and his voice, you know, seeing Guts reminds her of terrible things. So I'm wondering just how much terrible things we get to are coming back to her, but we're not really sure yet. Now, Danon, the elf queen, does make Casca kind of fall asleep, kind of eases her tension, but as Farnese goes to leave, Casca is still holding on to Farnese's clothes, which also kind of goes hand in hand when Casca was in her regressed mental state, that she was very dependent on Farnese, and Farnese was by far her favorite member of the group, the one that she attached to. Farnese basically took care of her like a child, and so I feel like Casca, even though her mind is returned, she's still going to have the attributes that she gained while in that regressed state. So while she was in the Elaine state, she kind of grew a motherly attachment to Farnese, and I feel like that's going to stay and that's going to stick around, and that might cause some problems moving forward if anything tragic starts to happen, if anything happens to Farnese, because we already have my Serpico theory. If anything bad happened to her, how dark that he would go, and if Casca lost her as well. I don't want to see anything bad happen to Farnese, don't get me wrong, but I feel like this could be a bad precursor if we are used to Berserk ripping our hearts out as we are. Now, Farnese and Shirke go to kind of show off their skills to the magic users on the island, and first of all, Farnese, dressed like a witch in her full like elf gear, is absolutely adorable. I love it. It's fantastic. I have nothing bad to say about it. She is adorable as hell, and she also really shows off to everybody being able to connect to the four Cardinal Guardian, the Elemental King. She's basically able to conjure them without a circle, and that's something that we really didn't learn too much about so far, is that there needs to be some sort of circle to pronounce some magic. We did see Shirke use it like way back when, like once, but kind of the point of this chapter is them saying, because they've gone through such, you know, traumatic experiences, they have had to make do with the situation at hand, and so they're much more connected to the astral world and these elementals than the magic users on the Elf Island are, who have basically lived in peace, basically showing that the more that you struggle, the more that you go through, the more powerful you become. So it's a really good metaphor there. And of course, they impress everybody except for Morta, who's just kind of sitting up in the tree like she doesn't give a shit, or, you know, she might be a little bit impressed by them, but she's giving off the attitude that she doesn't care. Other than that, Morta is hot as hell, and I would probably do some very demonic witchy things with her. Anyways, so then a couple of requests are made. One is Farnese wants to learn more of healing and that kind of healing magic, which Danon, of course, is a pro at. You know, she's the one that was able to access the dreamscape and send them in there, so she's going to do their best to both train them and use herself to kind of help heal Casca along the way. So hopefully that will be a plan moving forward. And then we also get the older guy. I can't quite remember this character's name, but he's the old mage, the most powerful one. And the way it's translated, I don't know if this is 100% correct, but it's saying daemon, which is basically translates to demon. So I don't really know why the word demon would be used in this context. I might have to look that up a little bit more. But he's saying that this is somebody who is in the astral world, but kind of is more of like a hero or a master sorcerer, and he was saying that Shirokai's mistress, Flora, was actually one of them. And perhaps this means that they can interact from the astral world into the physical, or at least have some presence there, because Flora twice now has helped Shirokai past her death. One was at her immediate death when she caused the fire to help them escape from the burning mansion, and then also she showed up in the dreamscape in order to help Shirokai. So she still kind of has like an angelic presence, I guess. So maybe that's kind of the funny parallel of the term using demon, but it's actually more of like an angelic presence. And Berserk has been known to kind of twist things, where things that are seemingly, holy are actually demonic, and things that are seemingly demonic are actually holy. So I kind of like that kind of twist. So actually it makes a little bit more sense now I think about it. And then at the finale of this chapter, we get Guts practicing his sword swinging on a hilltop, which I just love that imagery, and I just kind of, it's very tranquil, and I kind of wish I was training on a hilltop. But after that, he's starting to break down into tears, because he doesn't know what to do with himself if he can't see Casca, because that was the point of this whole journey. This whole journey since the end of the conviction arc has been to get Casca to this island and then heal her. And so what does he do now? He's kind of lost. He doesn't really know what the next step of his journey is. And here to probably tell him is the Skull Knight, which once again, I know I said one time, like, if this chapter ends with the Skull Knight showing up just like the last chapter, I'm going to be pissed. I'm only moderately pissed. But Skull Knight says that you will witness the end of your journey. And he says that the end is not always a happy thing. And of course, Skull Knight is always talking in ominous riddles. But here is where we will get probably, my theory is Skull Knight is going to recruit Guts to leave the island and go face off against Griffith and the God Hand. At least that's going to be his plan. I don't think that it will go that well. But I also think that, he will tell him, Skull Knight is the one that told Guts originally that your wish might not be her wish when it comes to saving Casca, where Guts' wish is perhaps for them to, be together once more, even though Guts realizes that, you can't, things won't be the way it was, but maybe we can still kind of salvage what's left. Well, I think what's going to happen is Skull Knight's going to tell him, look, Casca needs to focus on healing. She needs to be here. Shirokai and Farnese, they need to train. They need to become even better at magic than they already are. They will help heal her along the way. But while all that's happening, Guts, who is, primarily, and I hate to say it this way, is, just a fighter, he's not going to be any good in this situation. He's not going to be any good with healing Casca. He's not going to be any good with the magic training. He's not going to be, he doesn't belong on this island, as sad as that is. Like, his whole life, has been about struggle and battle, and here where things are about healing and peace, even though deep down, that's where we want Guts to be, that's not where he is. And so Skull Knight's probably going to try to recruit him to come back and do something with him. But unfortunately, we are not going to get a chapter next month. It's already been confirmed, so we might be in for another 9-10 month hiatus, who knows. But it was very cool to finally get a chapter, to at least get one this year. Hopefully we'll get 2 to match next year, maybe 3, who knows. Anyways, like I said, theories going forward are pretty much the same theories I've had. Nothing really much has changed. Like I said, I think Skull Knight's going to try to recruit Guts to leave the island with him. I think that the Moonlight Child is going to show up on the island and interrupt that, and then a bunch of shit's going to go down. But beyond that, guys, so that was the chapter. That was chapter 360. So let me know what you guys thought. Did you like it? Were you disappointed? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Comment all down below. Let's have discussions and theories. It's going to be fun. Great that we got a Berserk chapter this month. Very, very cool. Other than that, guys, let me know what you're thinking. Like the video. Share it if you want to. Comment. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.